Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Bronny James was signed by the Lakers in the draft, but he received a lot of criticism from NBA analysts and commentators, who say that the player is not fit to play for the Lakers. Bronny James was transferred to the G League so that he can develop his game, and when there are many players missing, he is called up to participate in the rotation. It seems that during the season, Bronny James is improving his game level, but is it worth it for him to stay with the Lakers and be accused of only playing because he is influenced by his father LeBron James? An NBA analyst suggests that Bronny James leave the Lakers and go play for a developing franchise like the Brooklyn Nets or Charlotte Hornets, where he can develop his game progressively and with more minutes on the court. Bronny James can become a great player in the NBA, but he needs to get out of the protection of his father LeBron James. Successful trade suggestion: Bronny James being traded to the Brooklyn Nets or Charlotte Hornets. Would it be better for Bronny James to leave the Lakers and play for another franchise? From the moment the Los Angeles Lakers selected Bronny James with the 55th overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft, head coach J.J. Redick has called him a developmental project that the franchise believes can be a contributor down the line. Some scoffed at this idea, feeling his selection was simply a matter of appeasing Lakers superstar LeBron James by drafting his son, but Bronny has quietly played very well down in the G League with the South Bay Lakers. In 9 regular season G League games, Bronny is averaging 20.6 points, 5.0 rebounds, 5.1 assists and 1.8 steals while knocking down 36.1% of his three-pointers. There remains a long way to go in Bronny's development, but Redick is already seeing a lot of growth, and the Lakers coach praised the G League staff while discussing where he feels James has improved most. "I think he's really embraced the G League," Redick recently said of Bronny. "Zach Guthrie has done a wonderful job with his development, that staff has done a wonderful job with his development, and obviously our crew as well, having communication with them and getting updates. When he's been with us, I think he's been fantastic. In practices and lately in games, I think he's been really solid. The biggest area of improvement is probably just his playmaking, and I don't mean that just in terms of passing, but just his ability to play on and off the ball as a decision maker, either a scorer or a passer. And with that, his confidence level and level of aggression has grown. For a young player, those are 2 really important things." Bronny has recently cracked Redick's rotation with the Lakers due to injuries, although he still mainly only sees minutes during garbage time. But his improvement and overall confidence has been noticeable when he's on the floor. In fact, Bronny has scored in each of his last 7 appearances for the Lakers, and crowds, both home and road, continue to go crazy for him every time. He notably put up a career-high 17 points and 5 assists against the Milwaukee Bucks. The pressure on James is immense, but he has kept his head down and continued to put in the work to get better, and the results are already showing. J.J. Redick, LeBron James and Rui Hachimura unlikely to practice before returning for Lakers. While Bronny James continues to improve, his father LeBron James is trying to work his way back from a groin strain. Meanwhile, Rui Hachimura has been dealing with a knee injury, and both seem to be nearing a return. Usually, players would need to get a full practice in before returning, but Lakers coach J.J. Redick feels the schedule likely won't allow that. "Very unlikely that there's stay-ready games for Rui and LeBron," Redick said before Monday's game against the San Antonio Spurs. "I'd have to look at the next 3 weeks, but very unlikely they practice. I think there's a practice in April. That's just the reality of playing every other day. Even if we do something on the court, there's not going to be any live contact in between game days." Bronny James shows he could eventually really make an impact for Lakers. On the tail end of a back-to-back on Thursday against Milwaukee, following a brutal stretch of 6 games in 8 days, the Los Angeles Lakers were bare-boned, with 6 players out for various ailments, including LeBron James because of a strained groin, and Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves due to ankle soreness. That meant the oft-maligned 20-year-old rookie was going to get some real playing time. Less than 2 years ago, Bronny suffered a cardiac arrest during a practice at USC and was in the ICU, with his future up in the air. Since then, he has not only battled his way back onto the court, but has done so under intense scrutiny, following the Lakers' decision to select him as the 55th overall pick in the 2024 draft. His father is one of the greatest players of all time, which means a player picked so low in the draft was given unprecedented microscope treatment, subjecting him to becoming a regular punchline on national TV. Bronny tried to put his head down and block out the noise. He focused on the work. He usually plays garbage time minutes after the crowd at Crypto.com Arena pleads with Lakers coach J.J. Redick to put him in the game, making their case with an emphatic "We want Bronny" chant. But against the Bucks, no begging was required. The Lakers needed him. He was finally about to have enough time to ease into a game. To develop a rhythm. To not just be a caricature, used to delight crowds for a blink of an eye. In 30 minutes, Bronny had 17 points on 7-for-10 shooting, 2 for 4 from beyond the arc, 3 rebounds, 5 assists and 1 blocked shot. He drove into the lane. He pulled up for 3-pointers. He was unafraid. At one point, he went one-on-one against two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo, crossing the ball over twice, and blowing past the 6'11" big man before losing the ball out of bounds. He later smiled when asked about the play and said he might have gotten fouled. The point is, Bronny didn't look like a kid who was out of his league. He looked like a kid who could belong in the league, who would belong. "I think the next step is just becoming like an elite conditioned athlete," Redick said. "Because when does that, with his physical tools and just his burst and his handle, we think he's going to be an above-average to really good NBA shooter. He's gonna have a chance to really make an impact." Bronny is quiet and understated. In the locker rooms after games, he rarely chats with other players. He's respectful. He acts like a rookie who's grateful to be in the room, not the son of a billionaire. Bronny has heard all the chatter about him. How could it not affect a 20-year-old who's trying to make a name for himself? No other 55th pick in the draft has been subjected to so much scrutiny. His strategy to deal with it all? "Just putting my head down and working," Bronny said. "I feel like that's the only thing that I can control right now is going in every day and staying ready to play, staying ready to learn, getting to work in after hours, early mornings, stuff like that. Just all the controllables that I can do myself. There's not really much I can do about people, random people, talking about me every day. Can't really do much about that, so I just go in the gym and work, put my head down and try to get better." Before Thursday, it had been easy to poke at Bronny. He was averaging 1.6 points on 26.3% shooting, 22.7% from 3, in 4.7 minutes a game through 21 games. Despite those numbers being typical for someone selected so late in the draft, they've left Bronny wide open to scrutiny. After going scoreless in a game for the Lakers, ESPN's Stephen A. Smith went on to First Take on January 29 and said, "I am pleading with LeBron James as a father, stop this. Stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad." LeBron, who has been under a blinding spotlight since he was a teenager, drew the line with that comment. During the third quarter of a Lakers game earlier this month, he approached Smith as he sat courtside, and told him to leave his son alone. After Thursday's game, Smith had a different take on Bronny. "I might have been wrong," Smith said. Emmanuel Acho stands up for Bronny James after 17-point performance versus Bucks the facility. "Bronny is just trying to ignore it all. He doesn't have to play professional basketball. He doesn't need the money. He also doesn't need this. He's grinding in the G League because he wants to be a professional basketball player, even if it means, in the meantime, he's a professional punching bag." With the South Bay Lakers, he's averaging 20.6 points on 43.1% shooting, 36.1% from 3, 5.0 rebounds, 5.1 assists and 1.8 steals in 33.5 minutes a game in 9 contests. His numbers keep getting better and better. The Lakers are starting to trust him more. Against Denver on March 14, the Lakers were shorthanded and he got to play 16 minutes. And on Thursday, with nearly double that time on the court, he had a chance to show what he can do. "I was given an opportunity tonight to go show them what I've been working on while I've been sitting on the bench, in the G League getting reps, stuff like that," Bronny said. It has been an incredible journey for him, from fighting for his life to now making his doubters do a double take. Bronny is showing that he's not just the son of LeBron James. He's a kid who's working his butt off, trying to make his dream come true. And after Thursday's performance, he may not be as far off from doing that as his detractors thought. The Dorian Finney-Smith gamble that will define Lakers' offseason. Dorian Finney-Smith will be the key to the Lakers' offseason success. The 2024-25 NBA regular season will be remembered among Los Angeles Lakers for being the time when Luka Doncic joined the purple and gold. Just over a month prior, however, Los Angeles completed another trade that transformed its quality and identity. Fast forward to the summer of 2025 and that very trade could decide how successful the Lakers' efforts are as far as building a sustainable future is concerned. A blink of the eye before the calendar flipped from December to January, Los Angeles completed a trade for Dorian Finney-Smith. The deal has proven transformative, as the Lakers have become an elite defensive team in the immediate aftermath of his arrival. As outlined by John Hollinger of The Athletic, however, the Lakers will soon need to decide how to handle Finney-Smith's potential free agency, including whether or not they can risk a long-term deal. This little trick is likely to come up in the case of several teams dancing the first apron tightrope, most notably with the Lakers and Dorian Finney-Smith. The idea is that LA can get Finney-Smith to decline his player option for $15.4 million for 2025-26 in return for re-signing on a longer deal for less money. To put it simply, Los Angeles needs to figure out how to avoid the first apron, and Finney-Smith declining his player option and signing a long-term deal for less per season could be the key. Lakers need Dorian Finney-Smith to decline and re-sign, but it's risky. Finney-Smith has been nothing short of essential, providing the Lakers with extraordinary value. Across a more than sufficient sample size of 870 minutes played, Los Angeles is outscoring opponents by a team-best 13.2 points per 100 possessions with him on the court. The Lakers are being outscored by 2.6 points per 100 possessions without Finney-Smith, meaning his mere presence on the court creates a 15.8-point swing in their favor. Compounded by the fact that Finney-Smith has a pre-existing relationship with Doncic, the Lakers would be wise to keep him beyond the 2024-25 season. To some degree, however, that could be beyond their control. Finney-Smith has a $15,378,480 player option for the 2025-26 season, which he could either accept or decline and thus enter unrestricted free agency. In Hollinger's scenario, the Lakers would convince Finney-Smith to decline his player option in favor of a long-term deal. It would pay Finney-Smith less per season, but would ultimately amount to more across the life of the contract. The risk for the Lakers, however, is that Finney-Smith will turn 32 in May and a long-term deal could pay him into his age 34 season or beyond. Perhaps Finney-Smith will continue to thrive as a player with the intangibles to impact a game even when the ball isn't in his hands. It's also likely, however, that Father Time will continue to win its wars and bring Finney-Smith's on-court value below his annual salary before the hypothetical contract expires. If the goal is to continue building around the pieces in place, however, it's a gamble the Lakers may need to accept the risks of.